Hello and welcome to Local Anesthetic Podcast, your injection of mind-numbing local news. This is a podcast where we cover strange, weird, funny, bizarre local news stories from around the world. And Rob, this is hot off the heels, this episode of our announcement, which we put up, didn't we? We put up a special announcement episode of our new Patreon page.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm hoping people have signed up. There was obviously there's going to be a small backlog of stories and episodes to get through. So hopefully those who have very kindly donated, or not donated, subscribed, I should say, are enjoying those. Yeah, I should, for anybody who hasn't heard that little promo we did, which came out, I think, on Wednesday, beginning of September, Rob and I are now, LAPodcast is now on Patreon for people who want to support us that way. There's a single tier there which you can sign up to. It's £2 a month. And that is to support this podcast and to get exclusive bonus episodes via Patreon. So there'll be 2 bonus episodes per month, every month on Patreon. You just go to patreon.com/LAPodcast extra. Patreon.com/LAPodcast extra. That is our Patreon page there. Why? Well, it's because those extra episodes are cunningly titled, Rob, LA Podcast, an extra jab, because that's exactly what they are. They're an extra dose of that local anesthetic goodness you know and love. More weird stories, more strange, bizarre, crazy shit that Rob and I have sourced, and it's all up there on Patreon. And the good thing is, for anybody who goes and signs up now, we wanted to give you lots of content there already when you sign up. So there's already 3 bonus episodes up there for you to work your way through, and we're really proud of them, aren't we, Rob? Very much so, yeah. Really enjoyed making them. But this is the regular LA podcast. These are going to continue. So we just want to reassure you, because as we'll keep reassuring you, the free episodes continue as they always have done. We are not taking everything back behind a paywall. We're not Rupert Murdoch. I retract that. I'm sure he's a very generous man. Yeah, he's really known for his generosity. Yeah, I've heard that. And goodness of spirit. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for saying that, Rob. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. We'll still be doing the regular LA podcast. It's just those LA podcast and extra jab episodes are for people who want more content and want to show their support. And as we said, it's £2 a month. For the sake of transparency, it's £2 a month plus VAT. There's nothing we can do about that. That's just the way Patreon works. But the VAT on £2 is very small. But if you could sign up, that would make us very happy. It would really help support this podcast, and it will give you loads of extra content. So we really hope you choose to do that. So once again, it's patreon.com/LAPodcast extra, and you'll see our lovely spanking new page there. And Rob, there will be a link as well, won't there, on our website and on Facebook? And there will be indeed, yeah. And I mean, like those really annoying Oxfam adverts, the ones that we all tire of. You can, for your contribution, which is less than a cup of coffee, you can get extra premium content produced by Messrs. Rob and Alex. And the excellent episode, even though they're called LA Podcast and Extra Jab, the episode titles Rob and I have always loved crafting still remain. I think the first episode we put up there was called The Birdman of Norfolk. And it was, that's well worth a listen. But all 3 of them are absolutely cracking. But Rob, let's stop with the self-promotion and get on with LA Podcast. Is there any news you need to say before we get, because we've got to get on with this, Rob? Yeah, just one small thing from Kyber, who just, I mean, again, I feels like he's blaming me, but he says, alas, episode 342 was over before its time. Cursed Rob for poaching one of Al's stories, which obviously related to the foot fetish man. Ah, yes. Yeah. And then he's managed to find there's a directory of local news brands in the UK. What's a local news? When you say brand, do you mean the names of the papers? Yes. So, oh my God. We said we thought there was a category. We were wondering, we were discussing whether there was a directory of local newspapers in the UK. He sent us this across. Do you know, I haven't even opened it. Let me just have a quick look on there. Yes, there. Kyber, this is fantastic. I mean, that is quite incredible. Okay, can you send that to me, Rob? And I'll make it my mission to keep visiting local news websites I've never visited before and trying to source stories from them. Yes, of course, no problem at all. Apart from that, we are ready to begin.
I should say at the beginning that Kyber also sent us a very mysterious ghost story that he'd written himself, and very expertly written it was too. And I'm going to read that out, but that's going to be on LAPodcast and Extra Jab over on Patreon. So that'll be in one of the upcoming episodes on there, because I do want to feature it, but I think it's a bit niche, but I think people will enjoy it. Rob, can I just say before we begin?
Yeah.
Your hair, I've never seen your hair this short, and you do look like an extra from Full Metal Jacket. Or not even an extra, just maybe, one of the sort of... They were Marines, weren't they, I think? They were Marines. Were they Marines? Or were they just regular soldiers?
No, I don't think they were. I think they were just GIs.
That's it. Well, you look like... To them. Yeah, GI Rob is what you look like.
Well, Alex, I don't... I mean, this seems like the right form. I'm delighted to say that I'm actually starring in the remake of Full Metal Jacket.
Right, okay. And which fool has decided to remake that?
Alex, I don't think you can call the visionary director Michael Bay a fool. I mean, that seems somewhat idiotic, but that's fine. No, he's Michael Bay is going to be remaking it. It's all going to be shot in and around Milton Keynes, I will be starring as not a main character, obviously, but an extra.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, let us know how that project turns out, Rob. Okay. Let's get on with this. Talking of papers we've never covered before, I don't believe we must have done, but I don't remember us ever covering a story from the Leicester Mercury. We must have done.
We have. Yeah, we have. Yeah, not a lot, but we have featured it. Yeah.
Well, it's because I came across this story, Rob, on the BBC. But being the intrepid, persistent person I am, I went off and found what local paper it was from, and that place is the Leicester Mercury. So it's my staff reporter. I'd love us to someday, if we could have a chat to people who work behind the scenes in local news, to understand what that means behind the scenes. When it puts staff reporter, does it mean nobody wanted to take credit for it? Does it mean that it's been written by a hodgepodge of different people? What does it mean? Anyway, 21st of August, headline, Snail Mail shocker after DPD hub workers discover animal packed up inside parcel. There was no address on the box.
Right. Okay, good.
Yeah. A giant African land snail was found packed in a parcel at a Leicestershire DPD distribution centre. Now,
Alex,
Rob,
can I was about to say, is a snail an animal? Surely it's a mollusk.
I actually think technically you're correct, Rob. I would also like to say that I'm about to mention the RSPCA.
Great.
And one of our episodes, which is up on Patreon at the moment, one of the LAPodcast Extra Jab episodes, because I remember when I was editing it, Rob, it was quite a systematic lampooning by yourself of the RSPCA.
Yep.
On one of those episodes. So I just putting it out there to let you know as a trigger warning, Rob, I am going to mention the RSPCA.
Alex, I look forward to it, and I stand by my comments.
The RSPCA answered the snail mail call out on August the 5th after staff at the Hinckley DPD Hub Centre made a surprising discovery after opening an unmarked box. Workers at the centre were left even more puzzled when they realised the parcel had no forwarding or return address.
Right. So how did it get there?
That was the question I had.
What? I mean...
So are we to assume, Rob, that if you put a random package in the mail with no address on it, it will always reach the Hinckley distribution centre?
Is there a possibility that this has been brought in by a member of staff?
It's possible. Rob, do you know what, though? Just reading that about it being unmarked took me back. Rob, to an episode in my life. Imagine me, Rob, as an adolescent, seeing a competition on television.
Right.
And the competition was, I can't remember what the prize was, but it was enough to get me to enter it. And it required that you do something. It wasn't like today where you can just text a number or ring a number or whatever it is. You actually had to do something. What did I have to do? I had to send out an envelope to an address, and I had to have decorated the envelope with a hand-drawn illustration of the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles in this country, Ninja Turtles in America, but I will always know them as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I drew Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and what was the other one? Leonardo. I drew them, Rob. It was a beautiful picture, colour, everything. And I posted that off. And about 2 hours after I put it in the post box at the end of my road, I remembered I hadn't put a stamp on it.
That's very upsetting, Alex. I mean, it's very rare that I compliment you on the podcast, but you are a good artist. So I imagine that, if that's had reached its intended destination, because I imagine, was this where was this competition? Which publication? It was on television, you said?
It could have been it could have been. It was some program. I don't know. Probably some kids program I've been watching or what. I don't know what it was, Rob. I don't want to think about it. All I know is that that's still around. It's probably still around there somewhere. I always like to think that the postman saw the artistry and thought, even without a stamp, I'm delivering this anyway. But he probably didn't. No. That is an indictment of the cynicism of humankind.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I'm under no delusion that had that entry reached its intended destination, you would have won and been in receipt of
whatever it was.
I don't know, a T-shirt or something.
Yeah, free pizza.
It was a 90s. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, free pizza.
Yeah. Anyway, so the charity. That's the RSPCA, Rob.
Yep.
Said no extra packaging, food, or other environmental add-ons have been provided for the land animal, which is roughly the size of a large lemon. Now, Rob, they're sticking with it. They're calling an African land snail, whatever it is, they're calling it specifically a land animal, whereas you're calling it a mollusk. So this is another rift that's opened up between you and the RSPCA, Rob.
Alex, I mean, look, they are the supposed experts in this situation, so we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
The job of collecting the giant hermaphrodite. So they're hermaphrodite snails. I didn't know that. They're
sorry. There must be an episode title in here. Giant hermaphrodite African land snail.
Yeah, something like that. I'll leave you to figure that out. Was left to the RSPCA inspector Richard Durant, who took the snail. I like his name. Who took the snail to an exotic animals specialist for care. He said...
No, he didn't. He took it home and fried it in some garlic and butter.
He said the workers found an unmarked box containing a giant African land snail amongst the boxes ready to be distributed for delivery across the country. When they realised there was this giant snail inside, they contacted us for help. Luckily, the snail was doing okay and could be transferred straight into an exotic centre for specialist care. The snail, Rob, was 4 to 5 inches in length. But there's a joke I want to make there, but I'm not going to do it because it's not fair. But the species
sorry, can I just clarify what you just said? 45 inches?
No, 4 to 5 inches.
I was about to say, fuck me. Okay.
Yeah. But the species can usually grow to 7.8 inches in length and weigh around 32 grams, living for up to 10 years, Rob.
Impressive.
You form quite a bond with an animal in that time.
You certainly can, yeah. Although apparently not enough to put posters on the box.
The RSPCA inspector said random discoveries of this kind are not common. He said giant African land snails are kept as pets, but we don't come across them very often, so it's strange to find one in such a random place. Would you keep a snail as a pet, Rob?
No, Alex, let's be honest. What moron keeps a snail as a pet? I mean, fuck me. Can you imagine anything more dull?
Well, hang on a minute, Rob. I might not keep snail. Hang on a minute, Rob. Hang on.
Stick insects. Pigeon,
Rob,
maybe.
I might not keep snails as a pet, but I do have a publication which is all about slugs. And it's called Slug. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not called Slug. It's called something else, and it's not about slugs. I think I've ordered the wrong thing there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right. The point is, Rob, each to their own. Anyway, just to finish this article, we have no idea whether someone abandoned this snail or whether they were trying to post the poor creature. Well, if they'd abandoned it, why would they post... Is this the level of intelligence at the RSPCA? So this is, whatever he is, RSPCA detective Richard Durant.
Are you besmirching the good name of the RSPCA?
Rob, he says we have no idea whether someone abandoned the snail or whether they were trying to post the poor creature. What do you mean you have no idea? It was in a box and put in a letterbox.
It's not like someone's found it in the bin, is it, you fucking idiot?
Yeah. As with all pets, it's really important that anyone thinking of taking on a giant snail is aware of what is involved in taking care of them before they bring one home. Not a lot of people, Rob, consider the implications. They need walking twice a day, It's an awful lot. You have to buy them an awful lot of snail food. They need a lot of company. Look, they're emotionally sensitive creatures. They can often be a bit inside their shell, to be honest. You've got to bring them out a bit.
I mean, Alex, this is no situation where you should be making puns.
They can be a bit slippery as well. They're a bit slippery as well.
Look, I've said it on many occasions. An African land snail is not for mid-August, it's for life.
We put that on a t-shirt. The RSPCA has asked anyone that has information about the mysterious delivery to contact them on 0300 123 801. And many a time, Rob, you and I have thought about making prank calls to the RSPCA, and we've never done it because it would be wrong.
This seems like the ideal time to do it. We need to call up and take ownership of that African land snail, and then apologise and say, we'll pop a stamp in the post.
You want to adopt the African land snail, do you?
I don't want it back. No, I mean, I post off for a reason.
Okay, well, comments. A freak spider says, I keep giant African land snails. They're beautiful and fascinating. Pervert. Leicester City FC says, show me, my beautiful are the words that go very well together, very well together. What? Okay. And then Leicestershire Dead has repeated the same comment, but in French. These are the people, Rob. Yeah.
There must be an inside joke there somewhere that we're not privy to.
Yeah, possibly. Okay, Rob. I've got another story here from The Guardian, the traitorous Guardian, which, incredibly, Rob, was named News Website of the Year. But not a surprise, Rob, considering the times we are living in.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm sickened and disgusted by that. I mean, it's... It just goes to show that the good people at the Daily Mirror just aren't trying hard enough anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, anybody who wants to know what the News Website of the Year is only needs to visit the Mail Online.
Exactly.
Okay, right, Rob. This is a story about a place that I know is dear to your heart, and that place is Edinburgh.
Okay, yes.
And it's by Nadeem Badshah on the 17th of August. We should mention that in between these two episodes was my birthday, but it's just a cursory.
No,
okay.
Not worth mentioning, really.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Protesters claim to seize, in quotes, Edinburgh Castle, citing Magna Carta.
I think I might have seen this on Twitter, yes.
Well, a group of about 20 protesters, Rob, entered Edinburgh Castle on Tuesday evening, claiming to have seized the landmark under Article 61 of Magna Carta. Members of the public were evacuated as the demonstrators entered the grounds of the castle without a ticket. Police Scotland said that the officers were dealing with the protest. Are they saying it would have been okay to sort of declare ownership of Edinburgh Castle under Article 61 of the Magna Carta if you'd bought a ticket?
I think that's what they're suggesting. Alex, I mean, I think it's true of any sort of stately home. I think if you buy a ticket legally, you're allowed to own that property for the duration of the time you're there.
Or at least a piss in the corner. I've done that in many National Trust properties. Once you've paid that ticket, you're allowed to take a piss in that house. I mean, I think that...
Alex, that's one of the joys in life. It makes me proud to be British when I'm urinating over a footstool.
Yeah. I think I urinated in Henry VIII's bed, actually.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I can't remember where that was.
He probably deserved it. Also, I can imagine the person, given who he was, he would have enjoyed that.
Well, you can't libel the dead. You've said that before, so you're all right.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, I don't think there's many lawyers that would take that case, but you never know.
I'd like to see you taken to court by the extended family of Henry VIII for besmirching his good name. Right, Rob, listen.
What, because he was into water sports?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Reports emerged at about 5:45 p.m. of an incident close to the entrance to the Museum of the Royal Regiment for Scotland. The protesters filmed their protest on Facebook Live. In a 13-minute video, a woman says the castle belongs to the people, in quotes, and that they are taking our power back. Reminds me a bit of the storming of the Capitol building in the United States, this.
It does.
Sort of the British version.
And I don't mean to jump ahead, but I'm sure that I saw that there is no Article 61 in the Magna Carta. Is that correct?
What do you mean?
It's fictitious. They were citing a chapter that doesn't exist.
Oh, right. She added that the Scottish people have been lied to all our lives and that the building belongs to us. We have taken the castle back in an effort to restore the rule of law. A man adds, treason's been going on for that long now. We can't sit back and let everybody perish under the stupid legislation and fraudulent government tyranny. So let's just take it all back, not just the castle. Can I say, Rob, I want it now as an episode title. Stupid legislation and fraudulent government tyranny is one of our best ever episode titles, surely.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's no debating that.
As police officers appear in the footage, the female protester told officers they were seizing the castle under Article 61 of the Magna Carta. Magna Carta, signed by King John in 1215, has never applied in Scotland and predates the Act of the Act of Union. A Police Scotland spokesperson said officers are currently in attendance at Edinburgh Castle and are engaging with a group of people who have gathered within the castle grounds. A spokesperson for Historic Environment Scotland told the Edinburgh Evening News a group of around 20 individuals entered Edinburgh Castle this evening without payment after refusing requests to leave the premises. Police Scotland were called onto the site and are dealing with the matter. There are no other visitors currently on the site.
Can I just interject that I've heard rumours that King John was apparently into dogging. So you heard it here first.
Right, okay. Okay, Rob, you got a story for us there.
Alex, this story is going to come as any shock to anyone. It's from the Somerset Live. It is from the 23rd of August, so very, very topical, from Chloe Parkman and Emma Grimshaw, and it relates to a certain Pontins holiday resort.
Oh, God. God, this must be story number 7, number 8, number 9. I don't even know. I can't even count, but I still wonder, Rob, it's the kind of thing we say on a flight of fancy, but there's part of me that, if we had the will, would like to just go and stay together in Pontins in a chalet for a weekend.
Yeah, I completely agree, Alex.
Just that, not even for the podcast, Rob. Just
for the experience.
Getaway.
Yeah. It does boggle the mind because I did also happen to read a story on the Liverpool Echo about a hotel in Blackpool that they describe as a holiday from hell. Then I went onto TripAdvisor. I know that TripAdvisor isn't always the most reliable source, but if the hotel has 2 stars out of 5 on TripAdvisor, it's probably not going to be luxury. I mean, Alex, why don't these people use this?
Well, I don't know, Rob, because I don't know.
No, okay. It's just
we can't all afford the Premier Inns and Travel Lodges you stay in, Rob.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, I mean, Alex, more Premier Inn than Travel Lodge these days. I'm making some cheese. So the headline. Woman in tears as she's left absolutely filthy Pontins holiday after just 4 hours.
But again, who in their right mind, unless you are illiterate, yeah, I'm talking literally illiterate, then you could have no excuse. Why would anybody, what are all these people going to Pontins going, oh, I'm sure we'll get lucky. What good story have you ever read about Pontins? I mean, I haven't even bothered to visit. Mate, or did we actually look at TripAdvisor for a few of the Pontins ones?
I think we did very early on.
What are you expecting? What are you expecting? It's like going to one of those sort of fried chicken places, right, that just have a random word put in the front of it, like Dallas fried chicken, or
Alabama fried chicken,
or Dixieland fried chicken, or whatever it is, and it has a 1 out of star health and safety rating on the window, and then complaining that you get sick the next day. What do you expect?
Well, Alex, this is a different type of story, so let me go into it.
Okay.
A woman claims that she was left in tears after a trip to a Pontins holiday park turned into a nightmare due to the absolutely filthy accommodation. Last week, the woman, who wishes to remain anonymous but has provided photographs, visited the Breen Sands...
Sorry, photographs of herself?
No, of the accommodation. That would be brilliant. She hasn't given a name, but she's given some very, very saucy pictures.
Yeah. By the way, just on that, did you hear that? I don't know if you heard it's breaking news. You know, OnlyFans decided that they were going to suspend all sexually explicit content.
We spoke about this during the week.
Yeah, we spoke about it during the week together, but not on any podcast. And that was due to the fact that, banks weren't willing to process their payments if they kept on with what they were doing. Well,
is that why? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's all been reversed now. Seconds before we recorded this podcast, OnlyFans have decided, no, we're going to keep up with it. So I don't know what's going on. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but it seemed relevant.
Well, it means that, your subscriptions are still in place.
Well, and that too, yeah.
Yeah. So the woman who visited the Breen Sands holiday park, Burnham-on-Sea, which her mother had kindly booked for her as a special birthday treat.
I would like to say, Rob, that the only subscription that is worth making is one to LAPodcast, an extra jab, via Patreon, patreon.com/LAPodcast extra. Anyway, continue.
Absolutely correct. And, what better value for money?
There's no sexually explicit content there, though. We should say that. I mean, that's something maybe for the future. Right? If I can talk Rob into it,
Yeah, I mean, Alex, I'm not beyond this. Look, we won't get into that now. Anyway, look, Alex, did you hear that last line?
Say it again.
So she visited Breamstown's holiday park, Burnham-on-Sea, which her mother kindly booked for her as a special birthday treat. Despite being checked into the resort's luxury club apartments, I should say.
Pontins has luxury club apartments. This is new to me.
Luxury club apartments.
What do you get for that?
Oh, we'll come on to
3
that.
less specks of dirt? Less Alex, semen on the floor.
I promise you, we'll come on to that. So she was checked in.
20% less piss.
For 4 nights, along with a partner and 40-month-old baby, the conditions were so bad that she left after just 4 hours, reports the Devon Live.
I'm surprised she lasted that long.
Yeah, she said the PVC on the door within the apartment had blood on it, and inside the fridge... Alex, 20% less blood. It was not piss at all. And inside the fridge, there was a bottle of stinking gone-off milk. The family also found a pubic hair in the bathroom and dead flies in the shower.
What do you expect? Yeah, but that's still luxury. This is still luxury compared to the regular chalets, where you find a few severed limbs and, drug paraphernalia. I take that back because that is actually probably
that was libelous.
Yeah, that was said in the name of jest.
Even if it may be true.
Pontins is always. I've been there many times. Going there in a few days. In fact,
don't lie,
and
Alex.
it's always a delightful affair.
The visitor from Devon said from the second we arrived, we just didn't like the look of the place. The apartment was minging. I wouldn't even show my baby's nappy in there. We looked in the bathroom, there was dead flies and pubic hairs. The mirror was covered in toothpaste. I then looked at the kitchen space.
But Rob, what are these people doing who stay in there beforehand? That's what why is a mirror covered in toothpaste? Who smears a mirror with toothpaste?
Alex,
who does this?
Let's be honest, right? I imagine the type of people who go to Pontins, and this is a huge generalisation, apologies to anyone who does holiday at Pontins, but I imagine that if you go there, you treat it as you think it should be treated. So if it was me, and if I just brush my teeth, I would just spit it directly onto the mirror, just because I can.
And just take a shit on the floor.
Exactly. Just for the experience.
Right.
It's all part of the holiday experience. I then looked at the kitchen space, and underneath the microwave wasn't clean. There was a toaster full of crumbs. The PVC on the door within the pub had blood on it, as she's already said, and the fridge was stinking like gone off milk. The ironing board was stained, tiles were falling off in the bathroom, and the curtain was hanging down. And we were expected to sleep on a solid leather sofa bed. Not even a proper bed, Alex, a sofa bed.
Wow. Wow. Rob, anybody who went to Pontins over the pandemic, over COVID, literally is insane.
Yes, I mean, to be honest, Alex, I don't, I mean, again, this is a generalisation, but I can't imagine that Pontins cleaning procedures.
Rob, I wouldn't go there. I'm sure that they're excellent. On all my visits, everything was sanitised regularly.
Okay, Alex, would you like to
know...
what
I believe was hand sanitizer in a bottle, but it could have been something else.
They just scraped the toothpaste off the mirror.
Well, I wasn't talking about toothpaste, but nevertheless.
I know, Alex, I know. Right, do you want to know what the benefits are of a luxury club apartment?
Yes, I would, for my next visit to Pontins.
So the woman says that she'd been looking forward to the birthday trip and was excited to be staying in one of the park's most prestigious apartments.
Well, she's an idiot then.
According to the Pontins website, club apartments provide guests with a host of additional benefits like free electricity.
Sorry, you're joking.
No,
Rob, you have to be joking.
I'm not joking.
It doesn't say that
This is exactly what the story says.
Can I predict
additional benefits? Free electricity.
Can I predict some more then?
Okay. Yeah, go on.
A door. Hang on, wait. Air.
No.
Flush powered lavatories.
Well, there's only two.
Running water.
Two additional benefits. Alex, are you telling me the other chalets, you have to pay for the electricity?
Yeah, it's a meter.
What are you paying for?
When I went there, it's the optional extra, Rob.
Alex, free electricity. I think if I go to any accommodation, the very least I expect is running water and free electricity.
Yeah, it really is.
As well as the in quotes extra luxury of early check-in from 2 p.m.
Is that a joke? So no. What if there must be more benefits? What makes this apartment luxury?
The free electricity and the early check-in at 2 p.m.
Is this company a joke?
Website says, Alex.
Is this company trolling people? Their whole organisation must be based on, let's see how much money we can get our people to pay for absolute shitty conditions, which it isn't, because when I've been there, it's always whatever I said earlier.
It does make a lot of sense though, because if their luxury apartments are obviously dead flies in the shower, blood on the floor, but you get the bonus of a free electricity and a late check-in, or whatever 2 p.m, which I think is quite standard in most hotels. It kind of makes sense for the other end, for the worst accommodation.
Yeah, so are we to believe then that the rest of it they're all just in darkness? They're like
apparently so.
They're like cave dwellers. If you go and stay in a chalet, you get a candle.
But you have to bring your own matches. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, every man and woman for himself.
There's no bathroom, it's just a bucket in the corner. It's basically like a prison cell, which is bad because even prison cell has free electricity.
Okay, Rob, you got a story for us there.
Yes, so this is from the News 18 website, which is an Australian site.
Sorry, News. Is that lots of explicit related news? News 18, or is there nothing to do with that?
I don't think so. Although I've only just realised that apparently the 18 has a little COVID mask on, which is very cute, and eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. The story is from the 22nd of August. It's quite nice because it tells you how long it should take you to read the article. So that's
okay. How does it say it should take you to read?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, but in brackets, if you frequent Pontins, 10 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was below the belt, even for me.
Yeah, that was bad. The headline: News channel accidentally airs satanic ritual on live TV, leaves anchor baffled.
What? So how do you accidentally broadcast? Because that suggests the footage was there ready to go. Why was it there ready to go?
Well, it was to do with apparently it's a segment about hurting police animals.
So hurting police animals.
Yes, I don't know, kicking it or kicking a dog or something.
Don't kick a police dog. You're asking for you're asking to be impounded.
Yeah. So the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, or ABC TV, accidentally aired a visual of a satanic ritual event whilst reporting a live segment about Queen's proposals on hurting police animals to be treated as a criminal offence.
I see.
The segment starts by showing a few suit-clad men standing outside of a building, possibly discussing the proposal. But without a warning, the scene shifts to a visual of three people standing behind an inadvertently brightly lit upside-down cross. One of them is seen wearing a black hood, like a dress, with a fellow cat behind him, hands held up.
Right. So how did this get spliced into the footage in the editing suite?
I don't know. I've no idea. The man dressed in the black robe can be seen putting up his hands and saying, Hail Satan.
All right.
Flummox
Do you think this is somebody's last day on the job, like one of the editors?
Oh, I hope so.
Like, you know what? Are they trying to suggest something about, police and police animals, that really they're involved in some sort of weird rituals? I'm not suggesting that. I'm speculating here.
Alex, we know, there's a lot of rumours about, satanic cabals out there. Maybe, and I'm by no means suggesting, I'm saying that this is purely conspiracy theory. Maybe ABC TV has, a reputation for Satan or satanic worship.
And that is speculation. And
that's pure speculation. That's just what I read.
It's not just speculation. It's idiocy, Rob. It's Rob trying to be funny. But ABC again, I think owned by the Disney Corporation, and Disney. I have nothing bad to say about Disney. I'm a subscriber to Disney Plus. In fact, I highly recommend it, especially for their Star Wars content and all their other content. But I love Disney, Rob. And to be honest, this is the first time I've considered, breaking our professional relationship because of what you just said there about ABC. And I think you even implicated the police in satanic rituals as well, which, considering you're an ex-policeman, is even worse. Rob, have you become a full-blown conspiracy theorist, Rob? Is this what this podcast is now? Is it like listening to Alex Jones?
Alex, I'm just reporting the news as I see it.
Right.
Flummox for a second, the presenter, Yvonne Young, continues to read the news even after the satanic visual aired in between segments on police animals. However, it is unknown how the unusual clip made its way in between the segments. Business Insider said that the satanic footage
might have been Beelzebub himself.
It could be the devil himself. Business Insider said that the satanic footage might have come from a Facebook page named Noosa Temple of Satan, a group based in Queensland, Australia. The Facebook page of the Noosa Temple of Satan also retweeted the visual with the caption, "Satan works in mysterious ways."
This is disturbing me, this story. And also, as I was watching you, Rob, I was thinking, we've just recorded this podcast. You've turned up with, to all intents and purposes, a crew cut. You're rambling on about conspiracy theories. It's worrying, Rob. What's the next step going to be? Some sort of attack on the RSPCA headquarters? Who knows what you're capable of?
Look, Alex, all I can say is I've been making a lot of money from a very niche organisation online. And
OnlyFans?
Look, if you want to see my videos, you just have to pay me $5 a month, and let's just say I'll open your eyes.
Okay, look, it's time for our listener story of the week. I know, was it Claire enjoyed these, but look, I'm feeling
just
all
play
out
the
of,
fucking recorder.
I'm feeling all out of creative juice this week, so this is my little ditty. Our listener story of the week. There you go.
I mean, look,
longer versions of my recordings will be on Patreon. No, they won't, actually.
No, they won't. No. We want people to subscribe, Alex.
Would it be amazing that if you joined up, if you became an LAPodcast supporter to receive your LAPodcast and Extra Jab bonus episodes right now, yeah? You pay your £2 a month, and it's basically just me playing the recorder.
Do you know what? For a second there, and I know we're going off tangent, but I just imagine we could put an extra tier in. We could put a tier saying, pay us £10 a month, and you can hear Alex's unedited composition, or
Alex playing with this purple rod. Lots of people would pay £10 for that, Rob.
I mean, Alex, why do you put your money where your mouth is? Let's really do that.
Okay.
We'll put an hour-long album of your own, whatever you call them, compositions, and let's see who pays for it.
Okay, we'll consider that for the future. Anyway, who's the story from, Rob?
So the story's from Amy. It is from the Eastern Daily Press from the 7th of August. Now, Alex, this is an update.
Okay.
From a gentleman we love very much. The story's by David Hannett, and the headline is, "Investigation into man's alleged Japanese restaurant concludes."
Oh my God. We have been covering this story about this guy who runs Orlando's. Do you want to tell people a bit about? Well, presumably the story will cover it, but we've been covering this man and his stupid. Well, and it is a restaurant. He claims it's not.
Yeah.
For years, you're telling me it's reached a conclusion. Has that conclusion ended in some kind of shootout?
No, sadly, I would love that. Yeah, if it ended in an arms standoff, that would be fantastic. Look. An investigation into whether a Norwich man is running an illicit Japanese restaurant from his home has been closed. Orlando Williams has been accused of running a restaurant and a takeaway from his home on Earlham Road, which he legitimately runs as a bed and breakfast, which is good to know. So you can stay there.
He has been running a restaurant. There's no doubt about it. It had a menu. It had tables and chairs. It was it. We should have gone there, Rob.
We should have gone there. Well, I mean, Alex, we can stay there. We can we could like take a week off.
Pontins and Orlando's double header.
Exactly. I mean, what a truly British holiday that would be.
I thought we were going to Orlando, Florida. No, we're going to Orlando.
Orlando's Norwich.
Where is it? Not Norwich. Norwich. Okay.
So investigations to the former owner of Sakura on Burr Street first came to light in early 2019 after a neighbour lodged a complaint with Norwich City Council. However, more than 2 years later, and the investigation into whether or not Mr. Williams is running a restaurant without planned admission has been closed. And a freedom of information request revealed that during the investigation, council officials visited the property just twice. The two visits came on May 26, 2020 to investigate the reports of unlicensed trading, and on December 8th, the same year, to conduct a food hygiene inspection. I'd love to see what the outcome of that was. During the course of the investigation, 4 complaints were made by members of the public about the property, although 3 were made by the same neighbour. The first came to light in October 2018, blah, blah, blah. During the same period, this newspaper was able to arrange and purchase a meal for Mr. Williams, who was not responded to requests for comment on this occasion. Spokesman for Norwich City Council said, "We've been in regular contact with Mr. Williams after complaints and reports were received." The council has investigated these cases by carrying out in-person visits as well as in writing and through telephone correspondence. We continue to monitor the premises and activity as we thoroughly investigate if any further complaint are received.
Sorry, Rob, I'm confused. If this has been brought to a conclusion, has he been found guilty or innocent? Has he been found to be running an illicit Japanese restaurant or not? Surely all they had to do is send some undercover people out, try and book a table. If you get a table, he's running a restaurant.
Alex, all the council can say is, unfortunately, they've closed the investigation, which kind of means that, there's been no wrongdoing.
Does that mean they can't be bothered?
It would seem to suggest that, yes.
Right. So anybody can run a restaurant. I can open a restaurant now out of my living room and not have to pay any of the, taxes or do the food, the hygiene, safety rating, and all the rest of it. I can do that, can I?
I think the thing is, Alex, he's now running a legitimate bed and breakfast. So if you want to go and visit him, he's basically doing what he initially intended to do. Before the Japanese restaurant, or no, after the Japanese restaurant. Actually, if you get the timeline right.
So did he open a Japanese restaurant first and then turn it into a B&B?
Correct. Yes, I believe so. I mean, the two. There's a lot of overlap there.
I have to say, Rob, it's a very confusing story and a very murky story. We apologise to any new listeners, but you're going to have to go back and listen to old episodes to understand what this is about. But it gets murkier and more confusing the more you look into it, Rob. A bit like Pontins.
Alex, look, I just have to make it clear that Orlando's Bed and Breakfast really is the best accommodation you can find at a reasonable rate in the city of Norwich.
Okay. I'm wondering if you've been paid off, Rob, but never mind. Okay, that brings us to the end of episode 343, is that right, Rob? Episode of LAPodcast. We look forward with a mixture of eager anticipation yet trepidation to our next episode, which will be, our next regular episode of LAPodcast, which will be episode 344. Thank you, Rob, as we move ever more forward like a snail, Rob, who isn't really going anywhere because it's been posted through the mail to a recipient unknown from a sender unknown and is now in the, it was in the capable hands, Rob, of the RSPCA, but is now in an exotic centre receiving specialist care. Your speculation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what that involves, but No. Just like that, we move ever more forward to our next episode, which, as I say, will be episode 344. Now, look, there's more to say now at the end of these episodes, because yes, we can be found on our website, lapodcast.net. From there, you can download all of our previous episodes, but we now have a whole new platform, which is on Patreon, patreon.com/LAPodcast Extra, where if you want to subscribe or join up, become a LA Podcast supporter, you can, and you will receive extra bonus episodes there every single month, 2 a month of those. We are on Twitter at LA Podcast. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/LA Podcast. We're on Spotify. We're on all those places. So as I say, all this free content is going to continue. But if you want more of that local anesthetic goodness you know and love, come and join us on Patreon, patreon.com/LA Podcast Extra. And we'll be delighted to have you there. That's it. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. We've really enjoyed your company as always. Take care. God bless.
And keep it local.